Because you scared us.
Good.
I am scared.
Just about to stand up.
Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to Elias Didn't Count Us Down today.
I counted you down in my head. I gave
That
you all
doesn't mean
I
jack
gave you all a
shit.
mental countdown so that
We're
you wouldn't
not
have to
in-
deal with my convoluted spoken
4,
countdown.
Elias.
I haven't
Okay, over there.
installed my ESP, so I didn't get the message.
That's a personal.
I don't have ESPN, so
Also,
I didn't. I
also
got nothing.
you don't need ESP or SPN. You just need to look at Zoom chat.
Yes, but just saying 10 seconds, not all of us have like perfect to the timing.
Oh,
And
I
there's a
heard
delay?
I heard
Also not
thank
my
you
problem.
10 and us
Elias,
10
it is-
minutes. That's weird.
Elias, it is 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's
I don't
None
know
of us
why
have
you
our
expect
pre-science
us-
turned on. None of us have our pre-science
It's
turned on.
9:07, which is why I started counting us down when you were talking.
You're getting pre-science?
So, hello, everybody.
It's just your voice.
Welcome to Tears of the Realms, our crazy Cypher system powered RPG. And the people below me are the people that I hope are excited to play in this new system and see all the weird stuff that I have for them. And you may notice that our lineup has changed slightly. We have traded Ilea for Kiri this week because Ilea had IRL aggro and Kiri was able to make it.
A
So.
terrible trade, if you ask me.
I don't know.
Lies.
I think you're
Lies.
both very valuable players. So.
Oh, I agree, but between the two of us.
They're both very
Hey,
fantastic.
Hey, hey,
Very
that's my
fantastic.
friend you're talking about.
Two of them, in fact.
Anyway.
Stop it.
So, announcements. Do we have official Zelda type announcements?
Yes.
There's Go ahead.
The clip contests are still ongoing. Everyone has about a week to clip from your favorite streams, your favorite moments for this month, and then we will meet to decide who gets that eShop gift card. $5 whole of eShop credit.
Yeah.
Save them up, and you might be able to buy a game.
We got that new Nintendo Direct that had all those cool games announced.
Yes, every single one of those cool games you can buy with one of these eShop gift cards. I'm not your lawyer, yeah. So that's ongoing, and then we're also gonna choose the winner of last month because I have been busy.
Also,
mhm.
there was a Nintendo Direct on Wednesday, and Elias and me and Amanda all reacted to it. It was super fun, and I think that still exists somewhere on the Twitch channel. I'm assuming.
Yep, it's on the highlights.
As far as Zelda things are concerned, they announced 2 new amiibos. One of Zelda, and she's holding the Master Sword from Tears of the Kingdom, and the other one is Daddy Dwarf.
I'm very excited for that.
Yes, Kira, you have a question.
Yes. Yes,
Daddy
Daddy Dwarf. Yes, Daddy Dwarf.
If you'd prefer, we can call him Ganon Daddy.
Ganon Daddy works as well. If you have not seen the new artwork for Ganondorf,
now it's in 3D.
A large portion of the internet that saw the new artwork for Ganondorf and went, "Daddy." So
I don't understand that impulse simply because I have a very healthy relationship with my father, so I don't understand how that's a sexualized word.
I'm not a big fan of it either.
It.
It's never been something that's attractive to me personally, but it is a phenomenon I am familiar with. So
no, I was just like, oh, okay, all right, that's all right, let's go.
So the amiibos themselves look gorgeous. Amiibos in general, I don't think Nintendo's really had a big swing and a miss with an amiibo thus far.
Not really.
But I've never been able to get one, so I don't know.
I have thrown on Wario 64 notifications anytime I see something that I need.
Wow.
And that's the real trick, is just to turn on those notifications, but they're pretty. They're very high detailed, and so I'm quite excited for these.
Yeah, that was the only other thing from the direct.
Yeah.
At least for
But-
Zelda.
Yeah, they announced Dragon Quest Monsters, The Rise of the Dark Prince, and I am super excited about that because Dragon Quest Monsters is amazing.
So is that
It's-
like the equivalent of Pokemon Moon version?
Kind of. It's Dragon Quest Monsters is Pokemon, but Dragon Quest, and it's super, super fun.
Should have seen how giddy Jody was during that entire
Oh
announcement.
yeah, I was super excited because last year they announced this thing called Dragon Quest Treasures, where you got to fight alongside monsters. I'm like, oh, it's the new Dragon Quest monsters, and it wasn't. It wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't a fun game in any way, shape, or form, or at least not the game I wanted. It was a little too simplistic for me. And then they announced Dragon Quest Monsters. I'm like, yay! And I think Dragon Quest Monsters had their 25th anniversary this year, or 35th, something like that. It involved a 5. So
I was excited about this game today.
yeah. Any other announcements from peoples?
No, it's been pretty quiet. I believe Zelda Maps had some small updates this past week. I'm not sure what they were, but I saw them come
By the way,
through.
guys, if you have not checked out Zelda Maps, it really is phenomenal. Like if you're playing through Breath of the Wild, especially if you're trying to 100% Breath of the Wild, it is essential. It shows you everything you need, and I believe it's got all the same stuff for Tears of the Kingdom as well. Like if you want 100% Tears of the Kingdom, I think they've got everything you need on Zelda
That's
Maps too.
Compared to Tears of the Kingdom, or are you talking about Breath of the Wild?
I'm saying for Tears of the Kingdom, without going into spoiler things that we won't talk about, I believe they've got all of the weird, hard to find stuff on there, right?
They have everything I thought of. Like there were things I wanted to see on Zelda Maps that they didn't have, and I was just like, hey, where are these things? They're like, oh yeah, we can add that, and then they added it.
But it's really cool. It's an interactive map. You can actually set up an account and actually track your personal progress. It's super cool. It's made by the people at Zelda Universe. It's really cool. I don't think we give them anywhere near enough credit for the awesome thing that they have done. So,
Well, it was very much an in hibernation thing. They launched it with Breath of the Wild. They kind of updated it for the Link's Awakening release, and then it was dormant until Tears of the Kingdom, and the team was resurrected and made it a little better in the process. So hopefully we'll have other Zelda games added to it over time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In other news, I finally got back to making videos on my YouTube channel, and one of the first one back is I created Link as a transformer because that's what I do. So
I feel like you've
guys
said this before, or have you just created other characters as Transformers?
I created all of you guys as Transformers at one point.
It's probably because I equate myself to Link. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
I don't like your face right now, Kiri.
You know what? To be fair, you're equally verbose. So
Hey, yo!
Anytime
quite
someone asks if they've seen Elias, I just go, I am he.
I quite literally, for the character in the Essence 20 system, you
It's me
have
when I
4
work out.
essences, and the social essence I lowballed, and the only skill they have in social is animal handling.
That's right.
Because I just found that hilarious. But yeah, they have a hook shot, which is a tow cable, and a shield, which is a pickup truck bed like it's super cool. The Transformers RPG is remarkably robust. So
And
I like it.
remarkably robots.
One other non-ZU announcement is that I have another tournament match today at 1 p.m. on the Speed
Yay.
Gaming 5 channel for my round 3 matchup of the Metroid Prime Randomizer tournament. It is Door Randomizer. I'm horrified.
Door randomizer for what game?
Metroid Prime.
Prime.
Oh,
Every single door. Yeah.
oh,
All right.
that's gonna be interesting.
All the inherent routing knowledge I have, out the window. But I've been
That's why I've
practicing.
never done door randomizers in Ocarina.
No, Ocarina is a much longer randomizer than Metroid Prime, so yeah.
I thought
That's
about
it.
once doing Door Randomizer for A Link to the Past, and then I realized I don't have that kind of insanity, and decided to just do the reverse one, or inverted. There we go. So yeah, cool stuff happening. Cheer Elias on. It is a lot of fun to watch Elias do these speedruns because he's really, really good.
I am, compared to the average person, good, but compared to the people I'm up against, we'll see.
I'm cheering for Elias if I'm still conscious. So yeah.
I have a friend here in Texas. Another friend besides the friend I'm visiting.
You're in Texas?
I am in Texas.
Are you it looks like you're petting a carpet.
Kitty.
Oh.
It is a void with black. It's so pretty.
Oh, I see it now.
It's a little.
Your
It's
video
a
has to
little-
be so big for me to see the eyes.
It's a little burnt
Yeah.
loaf
Mm-hmm.
with eyes.
It's a sit spirit. That's what it is.
Yeah. I have a cloud next to me that no one can see but the other players.
I work
So,
at OBS when
actually,
we do this, so I
blends
can't.
in very well with the cat stand. There.
I have a
If,
dog, maybe.
My dog's downstairs.
Poncho.
Time to locate our animals.
I have no cat.
He's being
Poor
very
dog.
patient while I do this game.
All right.
But my brother and his girlfriend went to a cat cafe and they send me back pictures.
Cat cafes are God's blessing.
I
I've never been to one.
went to a
They're
cat
amazing.
cafe months ago, took a photo and posted it, and then checked my Instagram like yesterday, and the cat cafe replied recently saying, "Thanks for visiting." I'm like, "Yeah,
Maybe-
no problem.
maybe
I
they
got a dog."
Just recently hired a social person.
It's entirely possible.
Anyway, I think it is time for us to return to Tears of the Realms.
Get those realms of tissue.
Damn.
Sad. So sad.
Now that it's shown, can we take a moment to thank the artists since we forgot last week?
Oh, yes.
No, you
by
can
the
keep the
way-
music playing. Sorry.
We do have amazing, brilliant art that you guys have all seen because you all have watched the character trailers a million times.
And episode 1,
Um,
of course.
And episode 1. The first 3 of those was done by a friend of the channel, John, who's amazing and wonderful, and
Our
then
Atticus.
yes, our Atticus, and then due to situations beyond our control, he was unable to get our last 2 bits of character art done. So the amazing Chax went and created the art for both
Dilly
Maddo
and Maddo.
And Dilly.
and Dilly. There we go, Maddo and
Woo!
Dilly. So yeah, pretty freaking amazing.
Soon you'll see it all at once on this screen. But
Yeah, one
And I
day we may
think-
have a full cast.
I think Chuck's got Matto perfectly.
I'm so glad. You gave such a good description for him.
Good.
Like a himbo New Jersey Link. It was like, all right, I think I can do this. And my fiance walked by and he saw it and he goes, "That looks like Link." I'm like, yes, success.
But
So,
more of a himbo.
but more of a himbo.
That's difficult.
So it was. I had to look up how himbos looked. What does a himbo and
You're welcome for
look
that.
like?
I love that.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Jax's
when the art was
Jax's internet searches have become significantly more interesting recently.
No, because I used
I
a
think-
private window. I knew better.
I was gonna say, I think you are underestimating what Shax normally looks up.
Yes, you really are.
done. She had to think
So
about that for
anyway,
a second.
time to return to the Tears of the Realms. "10 years have passed since the realms of the wild were restored from their fractured existence. A new group of adventurers have been assembled to explore a new danger in the skies of Hyrule. Strange, floating crystals have appeared in the skies high above Hyrule, denoted as tears by the denizens below. And a group of 5 adventurers have been discovered to have the ability to enter these tears and hopefully meet new and strange cultures that inhabit them. This group of adventurers, called Tear Walkers, have been sent on their final training journey before they're sent to their first tier. Thus far, they were all dropped in a strange wooded location and are trying to find each other and a single magical item called a teardrop for each of them. With that, we return to the Tears of the Realm. And yes, arson may or may not have been the answer almost immediately. So,
Yep.
I know.
What do you know?
Everything.
Never gonna get old, folks.
It wasn't arson. It was a fire elemental charge.
Could we turn the music down just a titch?
Absolutely.
Both things can be true at once, Elias.
Better?
I think so.
They could, but they're not.
Don't be mad about it.
So, I know.
Sorry, I stole it.
Jax.
Take it. Take it. Take it.
Yeah.
I take it back. I take it back.
Okay. Nothing. No one said anything. I
No.
lied. What am I doing?
The
Oh.
past 6 months, you have been training with this new group of people
Yes.
that you've come to regard as people that you know.
Yes.
And one of the things that has happened fairly regularly is a friend of the head of this new organization called Tears has shown up named Arel. And Arel has used the Shadow Realm to kind of transport you guys to various places across Hyrule. And for your final bit of training, you were told that you were going to be dropped in a place that you knew nothing about. And you were going to
Okay.
have
Good luck
to,
with that.
and you were going to have to not only find your friends, but also each one of you needs to find what's called a teardrop, which teardrops are these strange kind of fragments of magic that have kind of unpredictable abilities infused into them. They tend to be very unstable, And it's one of the reasons why you're going to be sent into the various tiers, is to see if you can locate more of them, because they have an energy to them that is so powerful that most people can only hold a few of them at any given time, because too many of them will actually start to physically hurt you being in close proximity to them. So when you kind of come to awareness for where you are, you have traveled through the Shadow Realm quite a few times with the Rel before. And as far as your reaction to it, it's an interesting, unique experience. But for whatever reason, a key seems to always be very much kind of aggravated by it. And whenever you kind of return to the prime realm of Hyrule, a key always seems to be kind of like cleaning themselves and just kind of shaking off the feeling of the Shadow Realm. And this time is no different. The key is kind of walking around and kind of brushing up against trees, looking like they're trying to kind of just clean something off of them that just doesn't seem to exist. But after a few moments, a key comes over and does that thing that they tend to do often, which just comes over, sits on the ground in front of you, and just...
All right, friend. So, we have two objectives. One, to find the rest of the really loud people. And two, to find one of those little teardrop things. So, what would you like to do first? I am also thinking that maybe it would be best to go find teardrop, and then loud people eventually will be loud again, and we will find them much easier. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Let us look around. As I am trained in geography and or history, do I know where I am based on landmarks?
Sure. Well, excuse me. Hold on for just a second. So, let's start off with kind of describing where you are. Looking around, you can see you're in a heavily wooded area that has kind of a pretty thick mist or fog going through it. And the canopy above you is so thick that almost no light makes it through from the sky above. So it's relatively dark-ish around you. If you'd like to try and see if any of that stuff seems kind of familiar to you, you can actually go ahead and make me a power roll. So as a reminder to everyone in chat, because this is Kiri's first time playing the Cypher system has 3 different stat pools that you can roll from. And we've made some slight modifications to make them feel more Zelda-y. So we have courage, which courage rolls generally refer to things that involve you just kind of courageously muscling through whatever issue you're going through. We have wisdom rolls, which involve you kind of thinking the situation and being much more agile and moving around problems. And then power rolls, which are much more about kind of your internal own power. Magic is fueled by power rolls, and also kind of your intellectual thought process style things. All of those are associated with power. So the reason that we declare a specific role is if you want to make the role easier, you can apply a level of effort, which requires you to use some points from one of those 3 pools. So that's why we call this a power roll. In addition, if you have any sort of skills that might relate to that ability, that can actually make your roll easier. In the Cypher system, we actually don't add modifiers to your D20 roll. We actually change the difficulty of your thing. So what we're going to start off here for you, Kiri, is this is going to be a difficulty 3 power roll. So what that means for you is normally you would need to roll a D20 and roll higher than a 9. However, I think you might have a skill that might apply to
I
this.
do. I also have a power edge, which I am forgetting what that means.
We'll talk about that in a second.
All
Let's
right.
start with the skill first. So
We-
what skill do you have?
We've renamed Scan to Aggressive Learning
Yes, of course.
because I love. And that I have 2 power points. It says 2 power points. You investigate an area in equal size to a 10-foot cube, including all objects or creatures.
So for aggressive,
Basically,
so
yeah.
for aggressive learning specifically, that would be if you were trying to identify something very close.
Oh.
With this, just because you're trying to identify where you are, this is just going to be a straight power roll. So
Oh,
you don't have
alright.
to use any of your special abilities. However, the skill I was referring to, if you go down your
Oh, that's the is that the geography and history?
yes.
Aha.
So to kind of explain the difference, you have what are called special abilities, which will sometimes use things from one of your power pools or one of your pools. And then you also have what are called skills. Skills are just things that you're good at. And if you are trained in a skill and it applies to a role, the difficulty of that role is reduced by 1. So again, I said this is a difficulty 3 task, meaning you normally would have to roll a 9 or higher to succeed. Because you are trained in geography, that brings it down to a difficulty 2 task. If you wanted to reduce the difficulty more, you could spend a level of effort, which would normally cost you 3 points from your power pool. But because you have an edge in power, anytime you spend points from that pool, you can reduce the points you spend by 1 for a single roll. So if you spend multiple things on a single roll, like let's say you did aggressive learning and then you also did a level of effort, you'd only be able to subtract 1 from one of those things because they're both applying to 1 roll. So that's how it works. Hello,
Alright.
Sophie. So that being said, the only thing I will say is if you want to apply a level of effort, you do need to decide to do that before you make your d20 roll.
Love
I don't
how
feel the need to do that on a difficulty 2. What is the number I have to go over for a 2? I know you said 3 was a 9.
So the difficulty you just multiply by 3.
All right. So, more than
2
6.
is a 6.
All right.
And then, yeah, just a single d20 roll.
I love how to make a single roll in the cipher system, you have to explain all of the rules in order to know how.
I only got to do it once. It's relatively simple.
You would think so.
13?
13, more than enough. So as you are looking around, and really quickly here, from Sarah effing Guzman, for
Thank you,
I know,
friend.
you've got what's called a player intrusion token. Feel free to just find a spot on your character sheet to track that. I know some people have been just putting it in their notes. I'll explain what player intrusions are in a little bit. But you've got one of those.
I watched the first episode.
Oh, so you know all that.
I do.
So, that being said, as you look around, for just the briefest moment, you feel this slight kind of chilling sensation as you realize where you are. The one place that you have not been trained in has been the Lost Woods, specifically because for non-Koroks, it is incredibly dangerous to go to the Lost Woods. Those mists can cause you to become lost, meaning you never leave and no one is able to find you again. So looking around and realizing exactly where you are, again, you have that just instant reaction of, oh, this is bad. And then your normal kind of, I know, curiosity goes, I read about this.
Are there any trees with fruit around?
Not that you can see,
All right.
not in the direct area that you are in.
All right.
One other thing that being a tier walker you would have, all of the tier walkers, the way you were identified as a tier walker is there's this thing that they call a tier walking gem that kind of resonated when it got near you, and that's how they could tell that you could actually tier walk. Everyone kind of gets to carry their gem in their own way. It might be a necklace, or maybe you put it on a bracer, or you put it in an earring, however you want to hold it. How specifically does I know keep her tier walking gem?
It is on. She has a bracer.
Mm-hmm.
On one side, and on the other is a similar bracer kind of device, but it's made up of these different pieces of metal. That's actually a it's a slingshot of sorts,
Okay.
just kind of mounted. It's probably on her opposite,
Okay.
on the non-slingshot bracer.
So one of the things that these tier walking gems can do is they do tend to resonate when there is a teardrop around. They're not like a dragon radar, if you're familiar with Dragon Ball Z or anything. They don't like give you a map or anything, but when you're familiar enough, you can kind of like point it around and get a general idea if there is a teardrop nearby. And they also resonate when you are nearby another tier walking gem. So using this gem, you can decide to either look for your teardrop or look for your allies.
I'm going to go look for teardrop because teardrop is quiet and allies will reveal themselves at some point.
Okay.
But I'm going to kneel down to so I'm more eye to eye with Aki and explain the situation of we are in the Lost Woods, and unless we find Korok somewhere around, which I do not see easy way to summon, I feel like, my friend, we shall need to rely on your keen senses to make sure we do not get lost. So, I'm going to and she puts out the bracer that has the thingy.
Mhm.
Do you remember this, maybe there was a scent or something of the gem? Where would you like to go first?
So you watch as Aki kind of looks at you, cocks their head to the side, and kind of wanders over as you're kind of showing the bracer with your tier walking gem in it. And you see Aki get closer, and they kind of like paw at it, and then kind of rub on the gem a little bit, and then just kind of runs away a couple feet and kind of runs in a circle a little bit, and then keeps going, and then just looks in a single direction, and then turns back towards you and keeps looking.
Bravo, my friend, bravo! All right. So I'm going to start walking that direction and be like, all right, Taki, stay close. We will be safer in numbers.
Okay.
For those, I realize I have not described this. Aki is a fox.
I was about to say, it's a talented fox. It just rubs up on your little magic stone.
Well,
Such a good boy.
There may or may not be a connection between the two.
No.
Excuse me. As you start going, the mist of the Lost Woods are one of the things that make people lost, and kind of trying to fight that is relatively difficult. So I'm actually going to have you roll me another power roll, and this is going to be a difficulty 4 task, kind of trying to get through the Lost Woods themselves.
does my geography and history of like hearing about people's accounts of going through this help bring that down at all?
I'm going to say no, because this isn't
Right.
so much you knowing which direction to go as much as it is you having to fight effectively your own brain as the mists try to trick you into going to the wrong paths.
All right, but my brain and I are pretty good friends, huh?
Yes, very much so. If you'd like to, I'm going to say geography or history would not work. But one of the things with the cipher system in general, is roles are basically kind of a negotiation between the GM and the players, where you go, I have this skill. Does this skill work?
I am trained in perception. Perhaps that is me perceiving my own thoughts and going,
Okay, I'll allow that one.
all
Yeah.
right.
So that will reduce it down to a difficulty 3 task.
All right.
And then if you want
More
to apply a
than
level of
9.
effort,
I'm going to see
You
if I
can.
can save some. How often does effort replenish?
effort you can use. You can only apply effort at the beginning of the roll, but you can use as many times. Your pools themselves. You have what are called recovery rolls. You basically have 4 a day. The first one takes a single action. The second one takes 10 minutes. Third one takes an hour. The fourth one takes 10 hours. So throughout a single day, you can recover points from any pool up to 4 times. And it's a d6 plus 1 anytime you do that.
All right.
Also, chat can give you free recovery rolls.
In case we run into... Do I trust this dice? I don't know. Maybe I'll try this one. This is a hunker.
Very pretty.
All right. I don't like these dice. I see 2 digits, so I know it's more than a 9, but what is that?
It's a
I
4.
think that's a 16. Yes.
16
Yes.
is great. So as you are kind of going forward,
I can't tell. It looks like it might be an... that's not focusing. It looks like an 18 or maybe it's it just... That doesn't... It's too close. I don't like that. Anyway.
as long as it's got 2 digits, I'm fine.
That's fair.
The other thing you can do is if you look at the opposite side,
Oh, that's a good point.
I believe they should add up to, is it 21? Because the 20 and the 1 are on opposite sides, if I remember correctly.
I lost it.
Anyway, you do succeed. So as you are going with a key, you do, and I just realized I need this open.
It is 21. I didn't know that. Cool.
I didn't either.
Cool.
That's how you can tell if somebody has trick dice. Is if you look at, and this is true about
If you roll
all
a
dice, I
21.
believe opposite
That was indeed a 16. Oh, no.
opposite dice should add up to the same number. So if you know that they're not, if you notice that they're not
Yeah.
adding up to them, then you go, huh, there's
Yeah.
something funny about this.
21.
That's so cool.
The more you know. Boom.
Dun, dun, dun.
The better you feel.
Oh, but
Oh, wait, wrong one.
unfortunate because the memes have told me that 9 plus 10 is 21, but it's 10 plus 11. And that's disappointing.
Anyway, so not the Lost in Woods.
So, as you're kind of going through the woods, you do see paths that look significantly easier to traverse. And as you start going down them, you're like, wait a minute. And you will sometimes just kind of take a strange, like, right turn into what seems like a tree. And then you realize that by just walking past it a little bit, you find the exact path that you're looking for. This happens like 5 or 6 times. And each
There's
time...
also this weird music that's gotten stuck in my head. It's like do 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 do.
And every time you start going on the easier path, it gets lighter and lighter, but then you hear it louder over here, and that's a reference to Ocarina of Time. So, as you're going, you eventually find what it is that you're looking for. And
Does it start to buzz? My table is ready at Chili's.
Yes.
That's our second
know,
Chili's reference.
I watched it. I watched the first episode.
I know. I'm just keeping a counter now.
I've got a list of restaurants I'm going to work my way through here.
Oh, all right. That's
Good.
I'm trying to think of any of the ones that use that I actually enjoy.
It's all like the fast foody kind
It's
of
all
place.
the frozen
like
menus.
Fuddruckers and Olive Garden.
Yeah, you're
If
lower
they
tier
ha-
restaurant. Yeah.
Applebee's.
If they
yeah.
hand you
lower
a
your
menu
standards.
the size of a novella, it's all frozen. and
Cheesecake
it's
Factory.
That and if it's slightly sticky.
Oh yes, always. Don't know why. I see them
So-
I wipe it down still.
Because the
I
rags
know.
aren't clean.
If you would be so kind,
Yes.
I would like you to roll a d6 for me.
All right.
Trainer Jody, I thought you were saying like I know why they're sticky.
5.
I know why they're. Yeah. It's not.
It's
So-
possible that's how she got her name. I know. No.
It's very
That's a good name.
Knowing her backstory, that may be extremely accurate. So, as you go over, you actually find what looks like a little kind of almost like potion bottle. But as you kind of look at it and you kind of you realize that this is not something you would ever want to ingest. What you have found is. Did I do the wrong one? Hold please. I totally put the wrong text.
Did you send me something?
If you look on your character sheet in the far
Oh.
right column, you will see your teardrops list. You
I
have a new teardrop
did.
list.
Oh, that's a nasty one.
So,
Extra sticky.
I'm going to do one more roll for this.
It's like mentally sticky. Jax, that's hilarious.
Favorite word as a kid? Actually.
I knew a kid in high school who would go through a like clockwork. It was like his macro. You said something slightly off, it would be actually technically no offense, but
I
like
can
clockwork.
only imagine how he is now.
So,
Probably
Gross.
insufferable.
so as you look at it, you kind of smell it. Due to your kind of extensive research that you did while you were younger, you instantly recognize this particular poison as a mind-controlling poison,
Ooh.
which forces whomever imbibes it to answer questions truthfully for 1 minute. This particular poison was actually kind of looked down upon where you grew up, just because of the idea that
I mean, I
someone
don't
would need to be
imagine many people that are
forced
going, oh, this
do-
is good.
Yeah. But kind of the idea that someone might need to be forced to tell the truth.
I mean, it feels pretty useless. I mean, who lies? Like, what is the point of that? Lying.
Oh,
As-
she's so cute.
That's
As
something they only do
pick
in
it up,
books.
and you kind of restopper it, you suddenly kind of, you definitely smell something burning. And having trained with Adesh before, you would say, "Oh, I think that is Adesh."
Just
swear
turn
it's not
to
another
Icky and go,
bomb.
see, I told you, we go find here, and then eventually party will reveal itself. Bah. Hi, Pa.
And Aki goes,
Let's go find them. Can you use your nose?
so Aki again kind of just looks at you and cocks their head to the side, and then kind of something that you didn't realize was not a normal reaction from animals is it just nods at you and then turns around and goes. And you've been kind of upset that you've talked to other animals and they won't acknowledge you like
Maybe
Aki
they're
does.
just not as friendly as Icky. I mean, Icky and I have known each other since we were quite small.
So without too much difficulty, kind of following a key, and because of your nice 16 that you rolled last time, it's not super difficult for you to get to your friends, and you eventually see Zariah and was it
Maddo in a
Maddo?
tree.
Yeah.
Yep, we're up in a
Zariah and
tree.
Maddo are in a tree, and
Swinging her little
Adesh
feet at the wolves that are below.
and Dilly are on the ground, and you can see a pack of 4 wolves are there that seem to now be slightly less interested in Zariah and Maddo, and now are kind of focusing on Adesh and Dilly. What would you like to do with
Oh,
this
do
new
I have the
information?
advantage because I have taken them by surprise?
They haven't seen to notice you too much yet. You're kind of a little bit far away. You're probably an extra 30 feet away from the rest of the group right now. So the wolves and everything are about like 50-ish feet from you.
All right. Is there anything of note other than, wolves and trees in the area?
Not that you can tell. I mean, other than the mists and every thing like that. It's mostly just the wolves and the trees and your new acquaintances.
Okay, hang on.
I will also mention for you specifically, I know, your marble bag.
Mhm.
If you look in Roll20, next to the journal tab, there's a little like music note.
Yeah.
And then right next to that, you can see kind of like a bulleted list.
Yeah.
One of those things on there, you should see decks, and then you should see rollable tables. And one of the tables is Marble Bag of Mysteries. I have come up with 50 random items
Oh, I
that
like it.
anytime you use a marble, you can just click on roll, and it should pop up in chat what it is that your marble turns into.
Is this Jody's equivalent of the deck of many things?
No,
I hope not.
You guys will see exactly how amazing this particular item
So
is.
it's a bag of beans, so it could be worse.
All right.
Have you heard of an item called the Robe of Useless Items?
Yes.
Oh.
I have
So
one of
not
those.
one I should be scared with.
I have one of those hanging in my bathroom.
All right. What
So
is
that
the
thing-
likelihood of me being able to mimic like black bear noises?
In an attempt to scare these away, I would say, seeing as how they seem to have found a meal, you think it's probably going to be relatively difficult. I would say base it would be a difficulty 5 check. So not impossible, but definitely something you're going to have to work towards.
All right. All right. I will actually then aim at one with my marble.
All right.
How does damage work again?
So, in general, Cypher system, there are 3 kinds of weapons. You have light, medium, heavy.
Yeah.
Light weapons do 2 points of damage. Medium weapons do 4. Heavy weapons do 6. There are modifications that can happen based on different abilities and stuff, but for the most part, it's just 2, 4, or 6. Your slingshot normally, being a light weapon, would do 2 points of damage. If you're loading a marble into it, that damage may change depending on what the marble turns into.
I was hoping that was the case. Brilliant.
Because
All
if you shoot it and it becomes, a stack of papers, may not do any damage.
That's fair. All right.
But if it turns
It's a heck
into
of an
like
entrance,
a love
though.
seat, it might do more damage. Who knows?
All right. So if I wanted to roll it, would I just
So
roll slingshot, or do I have to do something first?
for combat in general, you make an attack roll, and the difficulty is going to be based on the difficulty of the creature itself.
Right.
These particular creatures are level 3, so So level 3 difficulty. Otherwise, you need, or
Okay.
basically you need 9.
So that's
Because your
not the thing by
slingshot-
my slingshot.
Well, it is. So
Okay.
let me finish explaining.
Sorry.
It's perfectly fine. So your slingshot is a light weapon, and one of the properties of light weapons is because they are so light, they ease any attack you're making by it by 1 point or by 1 level. So using your slingshot, instead of it being a difficulty 3, it goes down to a difficulty 2.
Brilliant.
You can click on the roll thing next to slingshot if you want, or you can just roll a d20. Again, it's one of the things I like about the Cypher system is because there's no crazy math or exploding dice, we really can just roll everything physically and it doesn't hurt. So,
Uh-oh.
It hurts me when I roll like trash.
You say there's no crazy math, yet we have to do multiplication here, which is a little more complicated than your typical addition.
oh yes,
I'm glad it's
multiplying
just not
things
division.
by 3.
You know, look,
How
I'm
dare
not-
you at 9 a.m.?
right in front of my salad. Thank you. I'm
Love
glad
that,
you
Alex.
got it. I just need to say, I don't know how the person who can't do math to save their life ended up getting into TTRPGs, which is mostly math.
Yeah, but it's the good kind of math.
I think most of us here can say you're welcome.
Built my coffee. All right.
Oh no.
Dun, dun, dun. Not the coffee.
19.
19. Okay, so the other unique thing about
You
the
are
Cypher
very
system,
good. Very good.
when you roll a check, instead of just having nice things happen on a natural 20, technically going all the way down to a 17, special things happen when you roll them. In combat, if you roll a 17 and the attack hits, you do 1 additional point of damage. 18, you do 2. 19, you do 3. 20, you do 4 additional points of damage. So right now, if you hit, which you do, you'll do an additional 3 points of damage. But we need to figure out what this marble becomes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Roll.
So
A pair of bleach stained trousers. Oh no.
So, as you guys are all kind of dealing with this, you suddenly see kind of like just this briefest flash of white amidst a kind of sea of grays and greens and things. And you guys notice a key a little bit before you notice, I know. Yes, I know.
Okay, so I know that the bleach stained trousers say 0. And I know that probably cancels out all that nice ruling.
Oh, no, ignore the 0.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes,
fantastic.
ignore the 0. The 0, I don't know what the 0 is from. Yeah.
I was like, can it blind them? I rolled real well.
No, I have no idea what the 0 is from. I'm going to say that the damage of bleach stained trousers is probably not going. They're probably not going to do any damage, but the additional damage you got because you rolled a 19 is still going to happen.
All right, all right.
So you're still going to do 3 points of damage. We can figure out what else the bleach stained trousers do in a second here.
Okay, all right.
But going back to my amazing description.
Sorry.
So you guys see this tiny little flash of white, and then suddenly you recognize I know, and you see she's drawn back her slingshot, and you can see this perfectly smooth glass sphere in there that you guys have all seen before. She has this strange bag of marbles that doesn't make sense, and every time she uses it, something strange happens. And so all of you kind of go, oh, it's I know. Oh, it's I know. Oh, it's I know's marbles.
Well, now it's a party.
And as she fires, you watch as this perfect sphere of glass travels, and then you watch it kind of melt almost, and it gets bigger and bigger, and suddenly you see these trousers come and they slap one of the wolves in the face and kind of get wrapped around the wolf's face, and they seem to be stuck dealing with that.
And there's more of that coming if you don't scurry off.
I'm not going to lie, that was pretty funny.
Yes, I know.
Did you say I get to add something to it?
You added 3 points of damage.
No, but you said like there was something else. I thought, or like.
We will figure out exactly what being wrapped up with bleach stained trousers is.
Could the bleach stain actually be because it is still kind of soaked in bleach?
Sure.
Right. Keep going. All good.
Okay. I'm
Chemical
good with that.
warfare.
So
In episode 2?
Where are you from?
In episode 2?
Science.
Are we committing work in episode 2?
So what we're
Where
going to
are
do
you
right now.
from?
It's Ino's
Science.
backstory. I'm from 1960s America.
Boy, we love
why
the
doesn't
small napalm in the morning.
Why doesn't everybody go ahead and roll initiative for me?
How do?
I'm assuming that's a D20.
Initiative is just it's a wisdom roll.
No.
You should see under your skills wisdom, you should have initiative there. And if next to it, you should see either an I or a U or a T.
Oh, that's...
You are doing so
You-
well.
oh,
U
right.
means don't worry about it. Your roll is just going to be a roll. T means you're trained in it. And I means you have an inability in it.
So,
Basically,
So, flat
Stop.
roll?
Stop.
Sorry.
Let me finish explaining first. Thank you. The way initiative works is, again, for combat in general, everything is based on the creature's level. These are level 3 creatures. So what you need to do, initiative, is either you roll higher than the monster or you roll lower than the monster. So if you roll above a 9, you are going to go before the monster. If you roll below a 9, you're going to go after. If you have an inability in it, that means difficulty for initiative goes up. So you need to roll higher than a 12. If you're trained, you need to roll higher than a 6. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you said above or below, but if you match,
Match is above. Match
Okay.
wins.
okay.
I am going after. I rolled a 4.
Okay, cool. So, shoot, 4. I know. What did you get for your initiative?
3.
A 3. Cool.
Join me!
But you know what? If I was going to roll poorly, I'm glad it's on something like initiative rather than where it really, really counts. Because I've technically already gone once.
Technically.
Adesh,
18.
18. Cool. Zariah,
9.
9. Okay, so we're going to start with Adesh. There are 3 wolves that seem to be ready to attack you, and a 4th wolf that is dealing with bleach-soaked trousers wrapped around their face.
I'm gonna let Ino deal with her bleach problem. Yeah, I tried talking these wolves down. They're not having it. So let's go. Oh, actually, please hold. I may have just lied.
How dare you?
This is yeah. I'm
Uh-oh.
this is
As a
almost-
reminder,
this is
chat,
almost-
you can give the players reroll tokens. You can give them player intrusion tokens. All of these very useful for this particular cast.
Yeah.
Would you say, Game Master, that all of these wolves are in an immediate radius of each other?
Yes,
Yeah.
most definitely. They're all right next to each other.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
Well,
Make them
now
on fire!
now
Bleach
that
Their
is
higher
very
picks up her feet.
flammable. Although it does release noxious gas, so maybe I don't do that. I don't know.
I think that
Moves
since
away.
Ino was kind enough to throw an object in the middle of them, one even on its face, I'll just use my remote detonation on the trousers
Okay.
and have them detonate.
Oh my god!
I'm going to say
This
due
is
to the
episode 2!
explosive nature of chlorine,
Uh-huh.
or bleach, I mean.
Does bleach
We're going to say that
explode?
the
I don't-
difficulty
I
is
don't know.
reduced by a level, so you do still need to make a roll, but it's a difficulty 2 roll.
Okay, I'll take those odds.
And yes, it is. It is. You mix bleach and ammonia, and it makes a chlorine bomb.
Mm-hmm. Also, chlorine gas, remarkably deadly. So don't do that.
In fact, do not clean cats. Do not clean your cat's litter box with bleach. It is enough. The ammonia in cat pee enough to create chlorine gas. Don't do. Fun fact for you.
What do we got?
I rolled a 20.
You pulled
A
a
natural
checks!
20?
All right.
I told you I watched
So
this
how
episode.
much remote
That's
detonation
okay.
actually has a damage value associated with it normally?
It's 1 damage, but for everyone in the radius.
Yeah. Well, now it's 5 damage to everyone in the radius.
Fantastic. I have to mark down several PowerPoints for that. So give me a second.
So you guys watch. How do you envision Adesh using this ability? Like, do you just cause it to explode? Do you shoot fire at it and the fire makes it explode? Like, how do you see it work?
So you would see him, and you've seen him mostly use his elemental charge before, where he just has some sort of magic that tends to coalesce in some sort of like orb or ball of something focused in his hands, and then he's able to shoot it. A few times you've seen him use it in a different way, where it sort of charges an object. This kind of looks similar to that, where some magic kind of wells up in his hands, indiscriminate as to what sort of element it might be associated with, and then it just kind of gets absorbed into his hand and disappears, and you see it sort of appear on the briefs that have just been flown into a wolf's face, as the briefs kind of just start to light up in this white hot light, as Adesh says, "Everybody should duck."
I'm like many feet away.
So that happens.
For the,
And-
for the bits.
And you
Okay.
watch as these trousers that have been wrapped around this creature's face just go. And Maddo and Zariah, you guys, seeing as you have been warned, you guys both kind of retreat as far up into the trees as you can. You feel the heat from the explosion before you, and all of these creatures take 5 points of damage each, and are singed and seem very much upset with you all.
And then I turn to the wolves, I say, "I warned you." And
So-
I think that's all.
Oh, no.
Right.
Yes, so in the Cypher system, action economy is remarkably simple. You have an action. That action can be to do something like make an attack, or you can move a short distance, which is about 30-ish feet. Or no, I'm sorry, 50
Immediate.
feet is a short distance. As your full action, or if you make a courage roll, you can move a long distance, which is 100 feet, as an action. As part of another action that you are doing, you can move an immediate distance about 10 feet. So if you'd like to reposition yourself about 10 feet, you
Yeah,
can.
I'll get 10 feet away from Dilly just so that we're separate targets.
Makes sense.
And that's it.
Zariah.
So they're still sort of directly below the tree, right?
Yes, they're
Okay.
more singed than they were before. but
Okay. Cool.
Still roughly the same location.
And if I shape my object, is that considered an action, or is that part of the, like, can I still attack
So-
after I shape?
Specifically on your Rod of Shadow building,
Yeah.
it says that either as an action or as part of another action, you can shape. So if you want to attack with it, we can say that you do that as part of your attack action as you shape
Okay.
something onto it.
Okay, cool. So that was the plan. So Zariah is going to pull shadows from the nearby tree,
Okay.
or from the tree that she's on, and she's going to kind of like spin out her rod, and she's going to sort of. It almost looks like she's molding clay. Like, think of it like she's molding clay plus kind of water bending simultaneously, because she can't. She's very short, and it ends up being like this glaive. and she's going to jump from the tree and try and jump and stab one of the wolves below.
Okay. I'll say the act of basically falling in them will reduce the difficulty by 1 level. So it's a difficulty 2 task.
Okay.
And we're going to call this with it being a 2-handed weapon, we could call it a heavy weapon because it's a big 2-handed weapon. So.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your attack roll, and if it hits, it'll do 6 points of damage.
Okay, so it hits it to 15, and then I have the +1 for melee for my combat prowess.
So normally it would be 7 points of damage with a 15. Cool. My only question for you: are you going to attack the one that had trousers on its face, or one of the other ones?
Whichever one was directly below and trying to snap at her feet. I don't think that was the trouser-faced one.
Okay. So 7. Now you make me do math. Cool.
You're welcome.
You don't
so you guys watch as Zariah up in the tree after the explosion happens. You can watch Araya start to kind of move in this very kind of flowing form. And as she does, you watch as some of the shadows from the tree just kind of move towards her in this very kind of flowing, silky matter, and they kind of form into her hands. And as she's doing that, she takes out her rod, and you watch her just kind of flick it, and it gets longer. And then she starts kind of molding them on. You guys see this really kind of cool-looking, glaive-looking thing. And then she kind of just twirls it and goes, shunk. And she goes and she stabs through one of the wolves that kind of gets knocked away a little bit. You can see it's bleeding pretty heavily at this point. It kind of bares its teeth at her, goes, but you are now in the middle of these things.
She's going to go, oh, cute puppy. Also, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that Arai was in Zariah's name.
Oh, darn it.
You keep calling me Araya.
I am so sorry.
It's okay. It was my mistake.
We all done?
It was my mistake. No,
it wasn't.
At least I'm not calling you a rel now.
This is true. You will, though.
But Zariah, making things go awry?
Zariah does make things go awry. My barbarian's name is Arai. So, in his other game.
This is the pun campaign, isn't it?
It seems to be.
I have a question.
So, if you'd like to try and reposition yourself a little bit, you can. You can move up to 10 feet.
Okay.
Which is what's called an immediate distance.
Okay. I'm now in the...
You are in the center of all of these wolves now.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to have her sort of jump back closer to the tree so that she's sort of...
So you have something at your back.
Yeah.
So that being said...
I have a question.
Yes.
Since I rolled a 20, do I get a major effect that happens, or did that already...
The major effect in combat is the 4 additional points of damage that you did.
Oh, I thought the major effect was in addition to the 4.
No, the special rolls that happen in combat are slightly different, where the 17, 18, 19, 20 is just additional damage. If you wanted to forego the additional damage for a major effect, you can, but because this is our first combat, I'm keeping things simple to nat 20s just do 4 extra points of damage. We will get into more complicated things as you guys get more comfortable with the system. So, that being said, the wolves, because they have a target right next to them, yeah, they're all gonna try and nom on you. So, what I need from you is gonna be 4 wisdom defense rolls.
Who is you?
Sorry, I'm looking right at her, but Zariah.
Oh, all right. Wait, I thought she was up in tree though.
No, I jumped down.
She jumped down from the tree as she stabbed.
Oh, all right, all right.
Stubby. All right, remind me.
So again, it's just 4 defense rolls, and if you want to apply levels of effort, it will be through wisdom, from your wisdom pool. And again, with this being a difficulty or a level 3 creature, that means the attacks will be, or the defense roll is difficulty 9. Or, it's a 9. It's a difficulty 3 defense roll. So you have to roll higher than a 9.
Okay. 16.
1 save.
6.
One
Ooh,
fail.
that went off the tables. 17.
1 success. Or 2 success.
14.
14. 3 success. So, 3 of the 4 wolves kind of jump at you, and the first one comes at you. You can see the teeth coming, and you just bring up your glaive now, and you kind of catch it, goes, ah, and you kind of throw it away. Another one comes up and bites you in the shoulder, and you take 4 courage to damage. Which, do you have armor?
Yes, I do.
So, any physical damage that you take, if you have any armor, you subtract your armor from the damage. So, how much armor do you have?
It just says shadow armor.
In the second column, let me look up your character sheet here real quick. Come on. There we go. So, let me look at shadow armor and see what it is. Oh, it's you are trained in wisdom defense tasks when not wearing other armor than shadow armor. So what that means is your wisdom defense, you're trained, so it's eased by a step. So the 6, because the one that you failed, you got a 6, right? That's not a failure anymore because it reduced it down 1 level. A 6 is all you need to succeed. So that's what trained in wisdom defense. That's what shadow armor means, is you're just trained in wisdom defense.
So basically, anytime I have to make a wisdom defense roll, it reduces the difficulty by 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Bonjour, Sophie.
Tiny children, get off this.
So, as the other one comes to try and attack you, you kind of hit it with the butt of your glaive, and then a third one comes, you kind of dance out of the way, and a third one comes, you just kind of stab the glaive into the ground, and it runs into the glaive and gets back. They're still kind of baring their teeth, ready to attack you, but as you pick up your glaive and kind of spin it into a defensive position, it seems that all 4 of the attacks have missed.
He's going to growl back at them.
Okay. Next up is going to be Mado.
That feeling when a bird growls at you.
Motto is kind of stunned of, oh, okay, so chemical warfare. Great. But you're going against my friends, which is not great. All right. I guess we're doing this. I have a stupid thought.
Okay.
I have many, actually.
You mean they're wonderful thoughts? Excuse you.
No, they're pretty stupid. Here's what I want to do. I want to surf down the tree. Is there a rock that I can jump from, that I can hit to kind of go up in the air? And then as that's doing it, I want to take out one of my a different disc that is my fighting shield. It's got a little like cloud on it. I hit it, it turns into a buster shield, and then I want to just slam it into one of the wolves.
Okay. So let's start with what do you think a buster shield is? Are you talking like a buckler?
It's one of my. I'm making because buster shield on my sheet is the melee
okay.
shield.
Sorry.
He thinks it's whatever you put on his sheet.
Yes.
I thought you were describing a particular type of shield. I know a lot of shields. Buster is not one of them.
I'm literally, because I see Buster Shield, and my first thought was Bustered Sword.
Yeah.
So I'm making a cloud joke.
That works perfectly. Oh. I'd forgotten that's what I named it. So, guys, I created an entire new system in like a month and a half. My brain doesn't remember most of it.
That's understand. You know what? I respect that.
You had a lot going on.
So it's just like, well, all right, Cloud, ching, let's go. But I do want to surf down and go up and like do a whole thing because you know what? I'm leaning deep into this.
Okay. So, yeah, the surfing thing is a natural thing for you, so you have no problem. Make your attack roll. It's difficulty 3.
Do
I
I
will
have
ask,
anything to give me advantage?
do you want to attack the trouser-faced one, the one that was stabbed by the glaive, or what? The two other ones?
Glaive.
Okay.
I just rolled a d4 for it.
Okay. So,
difficulty of 9 or higher. Come on.
if you want to add a level of effort, you can before you roll.
Fortunately, I rolled as you were saying it. And I kind of regret it.
Okay. What did you get?
Not a 9.
So,
I got a 5. Miss.
So,
I go a little too high.
So as you guys watch, watch Maddo, he takes the shield at his arm and kind of jumps into the air and does a little flip and puts the shield on his feet, as we have seen Link do many times in various wild-based games. You watch him kind of slide down the tree, and he goes around, and he kind of kicks off of another tree. As he's going, he grabs the shield again, and you watch him take one of the discs from his pack and slap it onto the shield. And you watch it start changing and morphing into a shield much larger than you think should be wieldy. And he comes and he tries to slam it down, and you guys see this huge kind of eruption of dust as he slams. And as the dust kind of clears, you see that he has created a kind of crater next to one of the wolves. As the wolf just kind of looks at him, looks at the crater, looks at him again, just kind of steps back slightly.
I need to work on my aim. This is awkward. One other question.
Sure.
One of my special abilities is to block.
And
Mhm.
don't
I
forget,
cannot
I think we
take-
all have player intrusion tokens. Just reminding everyone. I believe we all have those.
We
You do?
Weren't you all given one last game?
Yeah, we were.
Ah!
Oh, I used mine, I think. I have a reroll. That's it.
Can I have?
I don't think I got one because I just have a reroll.
Oh, maybe you all got rerolls. I'm so sorry.
We all got
No,
rerolls.
I have an intrusion token.
I think that's because you were awesome, though.
I did do a player intrusion or a GM intrusion where two of you guys got intrusion tokens.
Oh,
I
that might
think
be
that
why.
was Dilly and yeah,
Yeah,
Might be
so
why.
Dilly has one, and I think
Maddo
I think
has one.
Maddo has one.
Meadow.
Yeah.
Well, could I have used a player intrusion token to nullify that? I mean, it wouldn't have
define
mattered at this
nullify.
point. Like, that basically means you can't do anything towards me if I do a crit fail. It would not have changed the outcome of what I just did. Right.
So player intrusions in general are, again, before you roll, you can go, well, this positive thing is going to happen that's going to be beneficial for me.
So it wouldn't mean anything. Okay.
Yeah, you get to basically be GM for a sentence.
Okay. So that wouldn't make a difference. Is block? I can't use that against. I can't. It's an action only. It can't be used as a response reaction to an attack that I'm getting hit. I have to call it before.
Yeah, it is an action that you do. So your turn would have to be block.
Got it. Okay.
And your
Well-
action for this turn was an attack.
Well, surfing and then an attack, which then failed. All right. Well, I'm going to just go look down at myself, look at the wolves, and go, and that's it.
I know, seeing this incredible display of surfing, less incredible display of attacking, what would you like to do?
I would like to save funny blonde man from himself. And his bravado. So I will also slingshot the wolf that is kind of mocked him with his eyes. I cannot save him from his psychic damage that he's clearly got from such a scathing look, but I can, maybe keep him from getting bitted.
Okay.
Did the wolf
I
just
love
stop
this
snarling and just give that like canine side eye look towards
Yep.
towards Mato?
I look, my dogs can do that for me, okay? I don't need you to do it, Jody.
I know. What'd you get? Oh, net 20.
This
So-
is beautiful hand-painted dice that I love, and sometimes it does me well. Anyway,
Non-binary
We are
dice, you were disappointing me
roll.
today.
I am on that roll. I
So,
just pulled the checks.
I know pulls out a more kind of regular stone from her marble bag, kind of brings it back, and you hit this wolf right between the eyes. You watch as the wolf's head kind of snaps back, slams into the tree, and the wolf just kind of collapses and then goes.
Oh.
And you can see little bits of rare meat there, because that's what happens when you kill
Do I
wolves
not?
in Breath
Do
of
I
the
not
Wild.
roll bag of mystery marbles?
Did you want to use a marble for that, or did you want to just attack? Because if you attack, you're going to do 6 damage, which is enough to kill it.
All
If
right.
you use a marble, you may do different things. We don't know.
I mean, I just reach into bags, so I wasn't sure how that works. So that
The-
I'll
the
kill
way
him.
that I'm going to treat this going forward is if you want to use a marble, before you make the roll, you need to say, and I'm using a
Okay.
marble.
I think then I'm going to do my own trick of reaching in, and I'll make an odds or evens roll and decide
Okay.
like what she's pulling out, because
Okay.
unless there's time to specifically look for it, it's a
Or
blind
if you
grab.
prefer, we can go the opposite way of, unless you tell me you're just making a normal attack, we always assume you're using a marble. Which
No,
would
I'll
you
roll
prefer
it.
the default?
I'll roll it.
Okay, cool. But that's enough to kill that particular one.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You did it, sort of. You distracted him.
Sure, I'll take that.
That being said, we go back up to the top of combat with Adesh. There are now 3 of these things, and 2 of your allies are now kind of intermixed with the wolves. So if you want to explode things, there are now additional targets there.
Yeah, and the only really thing to explode would be that chunk of meat that just spawned out of a corpse.
Yes.
Which I'd
It has bone in it. I mean,
rather not. All right.
It might also be sort of like lutefisk, but with wolf meat, because it had bleach on it at one point.
But the fur is gone, and we're not eating the eyes, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine.
We'll assess the meat
We've had worse.
when we're no longer in mortal danger from overzealous wolves. I'm gonna make eye contact with the one that had briefs exploded on its face, assuming it still has eyes.
it does.
Whether they're functioning or not.
There's no concept of holding an action, is there?
I mean, sure, we can if you want. There's nothing stopping us from saying that I'm going to do something when something else happens. And
Would
that
it
will
be
be your action
possible-
for your turn.
Would it be possible, having just done that, to sort of well up magic, sort of in my hand this time, coalescing into fire, since I know requested fire, and just sort of like make eye contact with the wolf, just kind of visually communicating with this wolf, or trying to, that if you come at me or my friends, this has got your name on it, and just hold my action for any aggressive movement from that wolf.
Sure. You're saying the one that had the bleach trousers on it, right?
Yep.
You're not sure if it understands the threat, but you have made the threat.
I feel like my actions have spoken for my threats, but yeah. That's the idea.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then definitely you'll hold on to that. Before anything happens, though, Zariah.
Zariah's gonna stabby.
Okay. Do you want to go for Bleach Wolf or one of the other 2? Because the one you
No.
blaved before is dead.
It's kind of fun leaving Bleach Wolf as he is, so I'm gonna go
Okay.
for one of the other 2.
All right.
10.
10 is more than enough. So again,
Yeah.
you bring your glaive around and shoom, and you do another 6 points of damage to a different one.
So it's normally 5, but because it's melee, it's 6, right?
No, you do 7
I'm
points of damage. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because normally it's a two-handed weapon, so that counts
Yep.
as a heavy weapon. Does 6 damage, and then plus
And then
1
combat
for-
prowess is that
Yeah.
one. Okay. Cool.
So yes, you bring your glaive around and shing, and you cut another one, and it kind of falls and.
Try
anything else
growls
you wanna do?
back.
Yeah.
No.
Having learned from their mistake last time, they're not going to try to bite Zariah. They are instead going to go towards the one that created all the dust. I need 3 defense rolls from Maddo.
Before that happens, I'll release my.
Go for it.
Defense rolls is wisdom.
Yep, wisdom defense.
Well, it might be just 2 if I manage to take this one out.
What am I rolling? What am I rolling for?
Well, hold on for a second. Let's let Adesh finish his attack, and then we'll talk about yours.
Okay. I'm gonna hold from rolling then.
It. The difficulty level is 3.
3, yes.
Yeah, no, it's
Just
gonna
hanging
miss as he lunges forward, and I miss.
So as you're sitting there and you've kind of grown this fireball in your hand, you're expecting the creature to jump at you, and when it jumps in a different direction, you fire, and you were anticipating the direction, you just anticipated the wrong direction. It hits the ground next to him and kind of scorches the earth that there.
I
Luckily,
rolled a-
didn't set anything else on fire.
Rolled a 3, by the way.
Maddo.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom defense rolls, basically just a d20. If you want to add any effort to any one of them, you take it from your wisdom pool. Yeah, I just need 3 of them. They're all difficulty 3. So 9 or higher.
I'm not gonna do any effort. I'm just gonna attempt. All right, first one's a 16.
Okay?
Second one's a natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
We'll deal with that in a second.
Non-binary, you failed me. Ace, you're in the clear. All 3 success. 13, natural 20, and a 16.
Okay, cool. So, as mentioned before, if you get a natural 19 or a natural 20, you get something extra. A natural 19 will get you what's called a minor effect, just something nice that happens to you, and that 20 will get you a major effect. So because this is a defense roll, what really good thing would you like to happen to you because of this? Or happen to one of the wolves attacking to you because of this?
Can I, like, slow motion matrix backflip out of, like, melee range from all these wolves?
Absolutely.
He wishes to flurry rush.
Yeah, like, he's like, doesn't know what to do, grabs his shield, puts it back very quickly, and full on, like, backflips. And as you watch it, it almost looks like something out of the Matrix. Like, so, like, slow motion. He's got, like, the face of, I hope this works.
So for
You
the rest of
could
you,
sense doves flying like
You
a John
see-
Woo movie.
you see 2 wolves kind of bare their teeth and jump at him. And the first one comes and he brings his shield up and deflects it off. Second one comes and he very quickly gets his shield and kind of gets it, and the wolf actually jumps over him. The third one, though, because the shield goes off, you see the third one coming right at you. And just instinctively, you kind of lean back, and as the wolf is coming, you watch it go slowly over. And as your hand places on the ground as it goes, you kick your feet up, and you guys watch as Maddo kind of flips with the wolf, kind of carrying him. The wolf lands on its back as Maddo just kind of looks at it, gives it a wink, kicks off of it, and flips and lands next to Adesh. As Adesh misses your fireball, you see Maddo just kind of standing there looking himboish and perfectly kempt and coiffed hair.
That shouldn't have worked, but it did.
Well, I was just going to say you're better with those shields than I thought, but if it was an accident, that makes more sense.
I like to think it's funnier that, like, in this particular moment, he was expecting it to go well, and then it didn't go well, and he's like, he kind of like panicked and went, uh-oh, huh? Being outnumbered the way he was. And so he was like, all right, let's go. And it worked, and he's just like, ah.
So, that being said, Matto, it's your turn now. So what do you want to do?
Is there one went over me, right?
Yeah.
Is that one the closest to me?
If you would like it to be, then yes.
I'm gonna hit it.
Go for it.
Take back the other shield that's got the cloud on it. Makes it a nice buster sword.
This massive, oversized shield that shouldn't be wieldable, but somehow is.
It's got a weird chain on it that's got like a spiky haired thing.
It's made of balsa wood.
This is what happens when I see Buster Shield and my brain goes, Cloud.
So, go ahead and make your attack roll. Again, difficulty 3.
Gonna go ahead. I'll just add 1 effort. So that's red value, right?
Yes, red is the current.
I'll just take a point from that.
And effort, a level of effort, your first level of effort costs 3 points. If you have any edge, that can reduce it. But this is I believe your shield can either be courage or wisdom. For you, I'm trying to remember for you. Yeah. So you can decide which pool you want to take it from.
But it's 3 points?
Yeah, your first level of effort is 3.
I do have an edge in wisdom.
Yeah, so if you wanted to take it from wisdom, it would only cost you 2 points then.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna do an effort on this one.
Okay, then make your attack roll.
Okay. $16.
16.
Hey
16
now.
works. So you guys watch as he comes forward, and he slams into this creature with his shield, doing 4 points of damage.
Can this be the one that side-eyed me?
Yes, most definitely.
No,
So
I
when
think
the
that one
side-eyed-
died.
Oh,
That's the one I hit between the eyes.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
never mind.
He
That
was
one's
closest
dead.
to you. Don't worry, your shame is forgotten by the wolves.
So you over and you
Not to
watch him
you.
as he slams in with his shield, and the wolf that he does hit looks real rough, but is still upright, barely. Yeah, that brings us to Aino.
I have lost count. How many wolves still stand?
There are 3 wolves left.
All right. Who looks the least rough?
The one that has only been hit by the initial explosive pants looks like that's the only damage it has taken.
Like I hit with the pants? Because that one had damage from when I hit it and also when they were
So
exploded.
the one that got hit by the trousers looks kind of rough. The
Okay.
one that Matto just hit looks real rough, and then a third one, the only thing they've been touched was the explosion.
All right, I will shoot third one then.
Okay. And is this going to be marble or rock?
You know what? Oh, actually, hang on. That isn't even, so this is a rock.
Okay.
You just mix rocks with marbles, huh?
Look, it's a really cool spell. I think you're just jealous of my magic. Whoa! Get back in there. That did not work. Whoa! 18?
18, yeah. 18 definitely works. And again, an 18 gives you 2 additional points of damage.
You're going
So
to
your grand
fix my
total of
life, you little shit.
4.
4?
So you guys watch as, again, Aino kind of pulls back and fires another one, hits another wolf on the shoulder, drawing a little bit of blood.
Oh yeah, so jealous of that magic.
I mean, that's not the magic. That was regular rock.
That's coming to my point.
Moving back to Adesh.
Look, mister, only you can prevent and start forest fires. I mean, it is the middle of spring.
I
There is
am
not
going
even
to-
dry trees around. How do you start forest fire in very lush forest?
I'm going to well up another elemental charge. This one charged with water.
Okay.
And as it kind of wells up within me, I'm going to make it just look extra flashy as I attack the same wolf that I know just attacked with it.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Aki and I talk about how insecure you are at night.
It's 13.
Eki thinks you need to talk to someone. Eki thinks you need to talk to someone. 13's more than enough. So you guys watch as he kind of wells up this ball of water, and he kind of shapes it into a more kind of pointed form and shoots off this water lance that goes and pierces. How much damage does it do? Is it 4?
4.
And again, as the water goes and cuts the wolf a little bit, it's looking pretty rough, but still upright. Anything else you want to do?
I do not make eye contact with Aino. And that is my turn.
Zariah,
Zariah is going to spin her glaive and attack.
go for it. Make me an
Huzzah.
attack roll.
16.
Which one are you
16
attacking?
definitely hits.
I am
Do you wanna hit
attacking the one that just got this smidgen of water damage. He got like a misted face.
It's a blade.
And she is entirely enjoying the sassy interaction back and
Zoras
forth.
do less
so-
damage with water than I just did, but sure, go ahead.
Damn.
I like the idea of Adesh has literally just conjured a mystical squirt bottle and has just gone, no.
No, bad dog.
This is not what happened.
I know it's not. It's not. You're right. You're right. It's not.
So as you come and you spin your glaive, you cleave the wolf in two. And again, another lump of meat appears where the wolf used to be.
Aki, look, dinner.
That brings us to the two remaining wolves that are realizing they're in a worse and worse position. So, seeing as they have lost 2 members of their pack, nah, they're cornered, so they're going to both attack. One's going to take a swing at Zerai, the other one's going to... They're both going to attack Zerai because Mado... Oh no, Mado came in, so one will attack Mado too. So I need both of you guys... Zariah, sorry.
20.
We'll deal with your major effect in a second here. Mado, give me a wisdom defense roll.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 3.
Ooh, barely passed 10.
Cool. So the wolf comes and dives at Mado, and again, you bring your shield up and kind of deflect it off. The one that comes at Zariah, however, what major effect would you like? Well, this one's pretty hurt. If you want your major effect to be you basically attack it as it's coming, I can have you make an attack roll.
Okay, I'm
Somehow
good with that.
lands in the remaining fire and cooks itself.
Ooh, good idea.
Go ahead and make an attack roll. I'm going to ease this by 1 point because it's coming at you.
Okay, 13.
13, yeah, more than enough. So as the wolf comes at you, you just kind of bring your glaive up and it impales itself. And as it's getting closer and closer, just and a bit of meat drops to the floor in front of you. The only one left is the one that was hit by the trousers initially. Mado,
Yep. Well,
what you want to do?
I'm gonna thwack the last one.
Go for it. Let's make an attack roll.
And this is a difficulty 3 still, right?
Yep. The difficulty does not change.
11. Succeed.
Definitely. So as you come forward and you just kind of slam it with your shield, It takes 5 points of damage because of your Buster Shield. Anything else you want to do? You can move an immediate distance.
Move an immediate distance?
Mm-hmm. So 10 feet.
Okay.
Basically, reposition yourself if you want.
No.
Cool. That brings us
Assert
to...
dominance, so just stop it.
I know. This guy's looking a bit rough. He's been hit in the face with bleached trousers.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually going. Yay! It was odd. Therefore, this is going to be fun, marble.
So go ahead and roll on the marble table.
And what is the? It's a 9 you have to beat.
Yep.
Thank God.
Eventually we'll
11.
remember that.
11, and then let us roll. Where do you go? There you are. An end table with a lace doily.
You throw an IKEA table at this
You
wolf?
do not put a lace doily on an IKEA table. No, that must be like, I don't know, hand-carved mahogany.
You
or
don't
something.
you don't
Nice
know the people
sturdy
who I
oak.
know.
I mean, clearly.
It suddenly
Which
disappears
region
from
of
an old
Hyrule
woman's
is-
house and appears.
I like that reality. Someone
Which-
like
Do we know which region of Hyrule is the Jersey region?
I think it's by
What
the
is it?
Shore.
Hateno? Is that the
Hateno.
one? That
Patano and Lurline would absolutely be New Jersey.
Ireland's not.
So,
Jersey.
we're gonna say that an end table with a lace doily does a little bit more damage than a rock. I guess I get to ask you to claim your kill. Describe your victory.
Hey.
Aino pulls back on her slingshot, and the marble shoots forward. And as it's transforming, it. I know it says a doily, but I want to make it a tablecloth.
Go for it.
Where, as it transforms, the legs are behind the end table, and it looks like the weirdest little rocket ever. As it slams into the wolf. It throws the tablecloth fully over it, and it, poofs down into the meat, and the table just kind of lands on top. Dinner is served! Your table is ready. Oh, that's why it does the buzzing!
Damn, that's crazy.
So as you all kind of relax, Aino goes over and, like a magician revealing their very cool transformation trick, pulls the tablecloth off to show another piece of meat there.
I'm assuming this meat is pretty, it's safe. It's like the same as.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
guys, if you want,
I'm gonna pick one up and offer it to Aki.
He comes over, and looking at the meat, Aki just kind of looks towards the dash, looks at the meat,
Oh.
looks towards the dash.
Aki would like you to cook, huh? Little flame. Aki has very delicate palate. He's
Can
what you
Aki
call a
wait
foodie.
until we get back to civilization where we can use a proper stove? Because
No, we have to get used to it. Not. What if we go to a tier and there's not a kitchen? Are you going to bring a stove? Are you going to bring a kitchen?
then I will use it in a tier that doesn't have a kitchen. But Hyrule does have several kitchens.
Okay, but the Lost
Yeah,
Woods
but we
does
may not be going around who knows where they're going to be sending us after this.
And this
Like-
meat is already very well salted at this point. So we might as well just cook it up.
I'm sorry,
Again, Aki
I
looks
didn't,
at you, looks at the meat, looks at you.
I didn't realize that my not good enough magic was good enough to cook this meat for your fox.
All right, so Soraya's going to sit down.
I mean, I
and
never
she's-
insulted your cooking.
So Soraya's going to sit down on the floor, and she's going to take out her rod, and she's going to shape a cooking cauldron and set it nicely on the floor. There you are. Chop, chop, cook, cook.
Trying to see.
Oh, have all of
No,
you
no,
found
no,
your...
So
Doesn't matter.
Where is the rod going to exist as part of this cauldron?
One of the legs.
The rod? No, the rod is just sort of underneath the dish, so it's like helping prop it up. And then there are the legs coming from the side of it.
Gotcha.
Or I guess we could make it look like a spit, or not a spit, like one of the metal triangles. What are they called? No, not the skillet.
A wok?
No, not a wok. I mean, where you've got basically the two legs, and then you can hang a hook from the top, and then you can hang your pot from there.
I don't remember what.
Oh, that has a term. Oh my
It
god.
does. I don't remember. Anyway,
Wait.
Either which way works.
Anyway, so that's you guys have this little kind of cooking pot that's hanging from Zariah's
Contraption.
The only
Is
way
there-
I can
are there-
produce flame
lots of-
is by attacking this
all
thing.
right. You're such baby.
So I
Is
will
there
do it.
any rock or anything around in which to like strike by chance with
You
my
can go pick up the
perception?
rocks that you killed the wolves with.
Well, if you just, I will say, since this is just an object, I don't need an attack roll. Like, it would be a difficulty 0 attack.
Yeah, it
So
just
there's
does
no
4
roll.
damage.
So yeah, so it's just you can set a fire if you want.
It's just very, very over the top.
Yeah. So you kind of like incinerate you guys would have had to get some sticks, which there's tons around, and you kind of incinerate most of it there, but there's enough charcoal left after you incinerated that there's a nice little place to cook. And you watch as Aki kind of picks up the meat and just drops it in there and just kind of sits back waiting for it to cook.
So, did you all find your tears yet?
Yeah, I got it.
Dilly hasn't found hers. Found theirs yet.
They've been weirdly quiet.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to talk about people not pulling their weight, but during that entire fight, you just kind of stood there.
You're relatively certain that Dilly would probably be quiet for another 7 minutes.
That's fair. All right. After cooks, just kind of give to a key.
Yeah, Aki very, very happy with their little cook steak. And after they're done, they kind of crawl up on your shoulder and kind of wrap around and kind of wrap their tail around your neck to give you kind of this almost like little.
My little
Can't remember
fox
what that's
stole.
called.
It's a
Yeah,
stole.
there.
Soul.
But it is alive and therefore way better.
And then kind of nuzzles into your neck.
All right. So shall we go find the remaining tears?
Last teardrop.
Yeah.
So whomever would like to do it, I need a power check. And because you have multiple allies near you, you will have 2 assets, so the difficulty will be reduced 2 levels. Normally it'd be a difficulty 3 task. It's going to be a difficulty 1, whomever wants to roll it.
I'll do it.
Okay. Your rolls have been so below par.
What a waste!
What?
Was it 20?
Well, you still get a major effect. So,
Damn.
What a waste of a 20!
so the major effect generally has to have something to do with the roll, but does not have to be something like one of the major effects from last time was Adesh has this little will-o-wisp that follows him around that basically makes him immune to the effects of the mists at all. Like the mists don't come anywhere near him. So as far as a major effect for you, what would you?
Could perhaps I find little Korak, who is like buddy with me?
Sure. We can do that. So, as you're sitting there and you're trying to kind of figure out what direction this is, you guys watch as I know kind of just starts like wandering around, looking, going, is it over here? No, it's not over here. And then suddenly you see her just kind of stop and go, "Oh!" And in front of her, you can see this tiny little Korok that's just looking at you like you're nuts. Ah!
Hello, friend! Oh, I have read so much about you. You are so much cuter in person. Hello!
Cocks its head to the side, much like Akida's.
Have you seen, pardon, reaches in, pulls out around here, something that looks like this? It is very important we find it.
Gahaha! And it kind of
All right,
gestures
come this way.
for you. And you guys travel around and you eventually find. I've got to open her character sheet so I can give them. Sorry. Give them a teardrop. Hold please. I have tables I have to roll on. There are many, many tables.
So does I know. Oh, what happens to the table?
After
Does it
about
stay?
10 minutes, it vanishes.
All right. I was about to say, can we just have like a whole house at this point?
What you'll have seen in the past is that after about 10 minutes, it kind of vanishes in this sort of like flash of aurora borealis like light.
Okay. Cool.
Aurora
The grandma wants
Borealis. This time of year, this part of the country?
I mean, it's just like those sort of multicolored colors,
So same color as her hair.
but also kind of same color as Aki's tail.
Yes. Which is very similar. Are you sure it would take that long, Imp? I don't think it would take that long.
It's not a war crime, it was animal cruelty.
So
But they can talk. They're animals.
Self-defense.
The
Annoy
wolf?
or I know, sorry.
Hmm?
I know. Roll
Oh,
a
no,
d6
crocs.
for me.
Roll a d6.
Yes, please.
A 6?
6, cool. So
Level 10.
I don't know what that
Another
means.
effect.
as Dilly finds
Could
their
I just
teardrop,
Just give them like a super good tier.
they find this strange-looking device. So they get this like perfectly spherical metal object that almost looks kind of like a mechanical eye. And Dilly kind of looks at it and goes, "Oh, oh, oh!" And they pocket it.
What is it?
Oh, it's a remote viewer. I can basically put this somewhere, and then anywhere I am for 6 hours after I activate it, I can see and hear everything going on.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you want to trade? Mine is useless.
I think I'm good. We just need to
Alright.
find our way back to.
Wait, no, they just said we had to find tiers and then find each other. Done and done.
Yeah, where are we supposed to go at this point?
Because that was the only instruction you gave.
It's a very good question.
We can't find our way back. We were teleported here. What is back?
Ask the Korok you just had you lead.
Little Korak friend, could you point us the way out of the Lost Woods, please?
Gaha! And for the better part of the next hour, you guys are taken in random, like it almost feels like you guys are walking in circles.
No, we are not, because Korak is lovely and he is helping.
Because the Korok just seems to wander almost completely random ways, but eventually you guys start seeing the mist is getting a little bit lighter, and you can see some light, and eventually you get to a point where you can see a path leading out, and a little further on you can see a small kind of trading post that kind of flourished nearby after the restoration. It kind of grew from like a little stable into its own little kind of mini town there. Unfortunately, though, that is where we are going to end for today. Yes, I know.
Before we part ways with Korak, I would like to reach into my marble bag and pull out a really pretty rock and give it as a thank you.
Okay. The Korok seems rather pleased with this.
We are now friends for life.
The Korok nods and then kind of waddles his way back into the forest.
Goodbye, friend!
But unfortunately, that is where we are going to end it. for today. As always, if you missed any of this, we do have all of these here on the Twitch channel, so you can watch them in their entirety. Generally, the same day that the broadcast happens, you should be able to watch the VOD. Otherwise, if you want to go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Zelda Universe, you can go there and watch all of
Zelda Universe TV.
Zelda Universe TV, sorry. You know what? It's been a long day. youtube.com/Zelda Universe TV. You can go there, and generally the day after we do the broadcast here, you can watch it there. And we're also slowly updating Campaign 1. I think we're on episode like 28 or something like that.
28.
I'm behind on uploading our backlog because it takes time for me to go watch every single episode and figure out what it was about, make a thumbnail and description for it.
Which is perfectly
That is
fine.
fair.
But we're slowly
Nice.
making our way back through that. And then obviously there's other cool stuff that shows up on the YouTube channel, so definitely check it out. Otherwise, again, that is going to be all for us today. And we will see you guys next week. Again, we are no longer every other week. We are every week. So, bye-bye.